So today we're standing in the Stanza della Signatura in the Vatican City in what was once the library of the papal apartments of Pope Julius II, and we are surrounded by these massive frescoes which depict the Pope's four favorite art forms. The frescoes were painted by the great artist Raphael. These art forms are the four branches of human knowledge, which are philosophy, theology, poetry, and jurisprudence. The art forms reflect antiquity and its harmony with Christianity during this time.
Right, and we're looking at the School of Athens, which was painted during the High Renaissance period. So right away you notice the rich, vibrant colors, the one-point perspective, the grand Roman architecture of the coffered barrel vaults and the pilasters, and the congregation of so many men. The School of Athens features the meeting of the greatest minds from all different time periods. These mathematicians, philosophers, and scientists are gathered together in deep conversation.
And the men in the fresco are divided into groups, and some are even lonesome, lost in their thought. This painting represents the philosophy aspect of the four branches of human knowledge. Philosophy, of course, being the study of reality, existence, and knowledge. And through this piece, we can see the different sides of philosophy.
There is a split right down the center in between the focal point of Plato and Aristotle. Let's focus on these men who break it apart. So Plato is on the left, identified by his book Timaeus. He is modeled after Leonardo da Vinci. He's wearing a red and purple robe, purple representing air and red representing fire, both of which are weightless. He points his finger up to the heavens. This hand gesture and clothing colors represent his beliefs in theoretical, ethereal, and Platonic idealism. In other words, he believes that the world we live is a shadow and the higher, truer reality above us.
And to his right is his student, the famous Aristotle, holding his book Ethics. Plato and his student cannot have been any more different in their beliefs. Aristotle was focused on the physical, or that which exists in the world. He believes that only which we can touch or see is reality. He is gesturing towards the ground as opposed to Plato's pointing to the sky. Aristotle wears a blue and brown cloak representing the earth and water. These concrete objects are the opposite of what Plato's colors represent.
So on Plato's side, we have the figure Heraclitus, who is modeled after Michelangelo. This was done as a tribute to the great artist because just a few doors away, he was in the process of painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. He also copies the pose of the prophet Isaiah that we see in the ceiling. Heraclitus is deep in thought, writing on a block.
Okay. Another interesting character on the Aristotle side that we see is Euclid, the mathematician known for his study of geometry. Euclid is modeled after Donato Bramante, the mentor of Raphael. He is surrounded by four men observing his work. They represent the four stages of learning, the first being learning the basic concepts, the second stage is encouraging the one kneeling, the third has a comprehension, and the final stage fully understands and waits for the answer.
Raphael has painted himself into the scene behind Ptolemy and Zoroaster, who are discussing the globe and Earth. Ptolemy studied the movement of the planets using mathematics, and his findings were believed to be true until we realized that the Earth was not the center of the universe. Raphael inserted himself into the painting, shows the idea that artists were on par with the great thinkers at the time.
And in the lower left corner, we see Pythagoras taking notes. He believed that everything found order in mathematics. This idea is that there is a reality that transcends what we see. Through this order, we see musical harmony and a harmony with God. This is consistent with the harmony that Christianity and religion had at the same time with human knowledge.
This painting represents the history of sharing knowledge and learning. The movement that we see in the men and their clothing represents the flow of this. This creates a great contrast with the very geometric architecture that we see in the background.